Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Hello. Daniel, we're back. Up from the grave we arose. I thought it was all
Yeah.
over. I thought summer was coming.
I know. I mean, surprising.
Very
to say the
surprising.
least.
Very surprising. So, listeners, if you've had your head in a bush, which you may have done because we've all turned to gardening, haven't we? This is what's going on. The EFL board met yesterday to consider the feedback and subsequent implications of last week's divisional club meetings, which means, listeners, they've said this. They want to ideally resume the season, but in the event of an early curtailment, which is very likely, final divisional placements should be determined on unweighted points per game. Promotion and relegation should be retained, and playoffs should be played in all circumstances, but should not be extended beyond 4 teams, it means. That's big news. So the season is going to finish. And then, of course, they put together the table. Been following this, Dan?
Hang on. I thought they voted for no relegation.
No, the statement, that was what the League Two came up with, but the overall EFL statement is they want relegation and promotion.
Okay.
Serious. Right. This is where it gets serious.
But haven't they already called off the
National League?
National League.
They have, but they didn't call it off. As in, it wasn't void. It was everyone stopped where they finished.
Right, okay. So whoever was top of that was expecting to go up.
Barrow.
Anyway, were they?
Barrow won it by some margin. Yeah, they were expecting to go up. They wanted to go up. They were told, well, they took it to mean, with the League Two saying we don't want relegation, that it wouldn't happen, but EFL wants it to happen. Now with this...
Barrow,
I know.
They've been in the Football League before?
A long time ago. Okay. It's right in the northwest, Cumbria.
Right.
I mean, it's not like if there's any reason to leave League Two, it's to not have to go to Barrow from Exeter. So with the old PPG, it's the standings have changed a bit. Swindon go top, Crewe down to second, Argyle stay in third, City drop to fifth and are replaced by Cheltenham. And then the remaining 3 playoff teams, the remaining 2 playoff teams, Colchester and Northampton, stay where they are. So that is the way of it. And then at the bottom of the league, Stevenage, and then 23rd, Morecambe, 22nd, Macclesfield. Here's where it gets slightly tricky for League Two, Dan. Macclesfield are due to be docked more points, but they haven't decided how many yet.
Oh, I see.
So that's what's going to hold it all up.
Affect. Right, okay.
Now, probably...
Well, I mean, what are they being docked points for?
Is all the games they didn't play in December. You were called...
Right, okay.
Argyle was supposed to go, and with about a day to go, it was called off because of health and safety. It was just like the same... Obviously, Bury had happened 3 months earlier. A massive mess. So that's the thing that's going to... I mean, it's not our end of the table, but that's the slightly tricky thing. But that's the thing that's delaying the final decision. But the EFL have said they want 51% of the clubs across all 3 leagues, Championship, League One and League Two, to vote in favour of this for it to happen. 51%.
Okay.
So, who knows if we'll get that. That's going to be next week. But that's big news. So if anything happens on those on those terms, we're in the playoffs and we'll play Colchester.
What, with us being 5th and them being 7th?
Them being 6th. So Cheltenham in 4th, play Northampton in 7th.
Of course, that's how it works, isn't it?
City in 5th, play Colchester in 6th. And then the winner of that plays the winner of the other one. I don't know if it's going to... But I believe it's going to be home and away. And I believe that'll be Exeter and Colchester. No one can go, of course. But it will be on the telly. And then I believe the final still at Wembley, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
They can't do... Can they do that?
Apparently.
I mean, what's the point?
It's all tied up with advertising. So
it's always pointless doing it half the time, unless it's London teams getting into it. But what is the point doing it when people don't... If you don't need to go to London, why would you?
I think it's the easiest way for them to resolve, to not get charged any more money. So, like if you're Warren's Bakery and you've paid for that hoarding at Wembley, and it's on every TV show, on every match that's televised at Wembley, and then suddenly the matches aren't happening at Wembley, you're going to want your money
I
back.
see what you mean.
So that's what it's all about. I would think it would be easier, honestly, easier to move the hoardings somewhere else, but what do I know? So,
potentially, that, I mean, depending on what else is going on, let's say this does happen, and there's still a fairly sized if over all this, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
If that all does happen, that's going to be at the highest viewed League Two playoff final of all time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it will be presumably the only football match that's on, apart from the League One and League One and Championship as well. But that's still only a handful of games. People are going to watch them because it's something to watch.
Yeah, indeed. Here's the thing that's also really interesting. It could actually happen really soon. So we could see, because they've said, beginning of June things could be back on, and obviously we've got these Premier League teams in training now, and presumably League Two teams soon to be in training.
Yeah.
It could, we could be looking at second week of June. The playoffs are happening.
I know that football's important and all, but does there something that doesn't sit quite right with you about how who knows if this is the case, but the testing's being done on footballers to make sure football can start, when it seems like maybe it's not being done on kind of people who work in care homes and people who work in hospitals and stuff, who basically had to sort of die and get ill because they were told there wasn't any money for a test, and that now somehow some League Two chumps are getting the tests allowed for them so they can do a football match.
I know it's
a bit weird. I mean, I don't know that I could be way off target there with all that, and maybe but I don't know, something a bit weird about it in there.
There certainly is something that's a bit weird. We've got two things going on here, haven't we? We've got a massive I'm not saying it's right at all, but I'm saying this is why a government concerned with the economy wants to get football back on, because the top of the football is worth so much money, and actually,
of course,
that probably the investment, I don't know how many, isn't it 1,700 people involved in the Premier League? It's something like that. I heard that it's going to be 1,700 people tested. Now, for an industry that's worth that much money, I guess they think that's not that many tests. I'm not saying it's right. That's what they've gone for. And then, of course, we've just absolutely piggybacked on the back of that. I don't mean Exeter City, I mean League Two, because they've kind of gone on about the importance of the competition. But probably, if it wasn't for how much money a team could make or had invested in trying to get to the Premier League, they would quite happily have closed the whole thing down months ago, and that probably would have been the right thing, morally and ethically. But because somehow there's this weird loophole of we've got to keep the thing going, that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose this is a much bigger debate than me and you are going to have for the benefit of this podcast, isn't it? But I mean, where does it discussion end? You could say that the economy needs to recover in order for more people to not die as well. So who am I? I mean, who are we to even say, really? So I suppose we put all that to the side and just concentrate on what happens if and when it does happen.
Yeah, indeed. So that's the kind of situation. So Stevenage, if what we've just talked about happens, Stevenage definitely down. Argyle, Swindon, Crewe definitely up. Except, Dan, of course, things never run smooth. Turns out Swindon Town are half owned by Gareth Barry, but the guy who currently owns them doesn't know this. And so it's all going to the High Court. And if this is true...
Wait, what?
Have you not been following this?
Okay.
No. It's pretty good. So the previous...
Gareth Barry?
Yep. The former... Well, he still plays, doesn't he? The footballer Gareth Barry, formerly of Aston Villa, etc., was... Somehow, the previous owner of Swindon was either an agent or worked with an agent and someone somewhere was either owed some money or Gareth Barry wanted to get involved. I don't think that's likely, or even allowed, actually.
Well, you would say that.
Yes.
Show some transparency here quickly. You are in some way related to Gareth Barry,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but
you've never met him.
Never met him. He's a distant cousin. Yeah, it's true. But
there you go, listeners.
Yeah,
there's a bit for you.
That's a bombshell, isn't it? So, old cuz doesn't seem.
So you're sort of tied up in this whole thing.
I wish I had the inside scoop, but it's turned out that Swindon, the guy who owns them, who thinks he owns them, one of the owners, maybe doesn't actually own them, maybe it never properly went through, and maybe actually, legally, the owner is this agent and Gareth Barry.
Wow.
And if that's true, Swindon have the potential to be docked a lot of points.
Yeah.
However, I don't think it's getting sorted out anytime soon. So it seems that the top three will be the top three. But yeah, there's this whole extra...
But say that goes through and then they are docked points at a later date, presumably when they've been promoted to League One.
Yeah.
Are we not then in some sort of position? I mean, would it be us even? Or it wouldn't be us, would it? I suppose it would be
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham. Would not be in some sort of legal position to be able to sort of,
I know.
Sue. You could sue in that situation, couldn't you?
This is what the EFL's really worried about, suing across the board. So I think they're worried about Harrogate, who are the second team in the National, suing. I think they're worried about the top teams in the Championship suing. I think they're worried about Tranmere getting relegated from League One, for example, suing. There's lawsuits all over the place potentially happening. So that's why they need the buy-in of the Championship teams, all the league teams. So it's a mad situation. But yeah, so ignoring
this is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hot take, isn't it? But football's corrupt, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Except if you own your own football club, if you are a fan-owned football club. And that's why I think, surely, justice and righteousness are on our side as we go to...
Well, you say that, but then, when a club's being owned by that many people, at some point along the line, maybe there is some corruption. E.g., your sort of nepotism to the Gareth Barry case.
Yeah, I mean,
are we in danger of being docked points because of your, connections?
It is a tangled web we weave, Dan. So maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, carry on.
Well, believe me, no one was more amazed than me to see that article. It was on the BBC. You can look it up. So all this Swindon toing and froing, and the Swindon Town podcast, one of them, has said that it's well beyond their pay grade to even try and tackle this mess. So who knows? But
we'd have a go, wouldn't it, if it was us?
Certainly would.
If we were doing this back in the old, as we call them, the Russell and Bromley days.
Yes.
If we'd doing the podcast then, we'd be doing some sort of Donald McIntyre shit on this, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, with Russell and Bromley, if the shoe fits,
turning up on his doorstep with the mic, at the big boom mic.
Oh, I'd love that.
I'd have been right in there.
Hey, do you know what? You know who else I might suspect of cashing in on coronavirus? Whoever makes those boom mics. They love them at the minute, don't they? On the news every time. Interviewing someone.
Oh, right, yeah.
Booming them across the corridor. Even though you're in the same corridor. Boom.
I'm sure they do it on purpose, just to sort of...
oh, absolutely.
To give this kind of like the conversation a bit of gravitas or something. I don't know what it does. It makes people seem more real, or I don't know.
Have you heard this about EFL linesmen? They're going to have much longer flags so they can stand further away from the pitch to flag.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. I mean, why not have a flag that's just half the length of the pitch?
Oh, nice.
Huge, wing.
You could literally wallop someone when they're offside from the other side. Like it.
Yeah.
So anyway, probably League 2 means top 3, Swindon, Crewe, Argyle, automatics, and then this playoff situation, us against Colchester, Cheltenham versus Northampton. I mean,
yeah.
I don't want to tempt fate here, but we're quite good at beating Keith Curle in the playoffs, so if we had Northampton in the final, I'd fancy that.
Well, that's true, but we're not very good at beating Northampton.
That's true.
Or we're just not very good at beating Northampton.
At Northampton. Yeah, that's true. I mean, who knows? And if it comes to this course... how are we done against Colchester this season? I mean, I should remember this. We had that draw with them at their place around Christmas time. We scored first. Taylor scored. Then we went 2-1 down, and then they conceded a penalty near the end. That's the only one that springs to mind. I can't remember if we played them at home or not. Maybe that was one of the upcoming ones. Maybe it was.
No, I'll tell you what. No, it wasn't, because that was the game that... Wasn't that the one where we got the flag nicked?
Yeah, was.
It was, wasn't it?
Was. Red Legion banner. You're absolutely right. I can't remember if we lost that or won it. I just remember the flag.
Wow. So there's some context for a semi-final, isn't it?
If only the
Battle of the Red Legion flag.
If only anyone could be there.
Oh, yeah. I have to do sort of... I won't call it hooliganism, because I think that's probably not right. But we have to do some sort of what would they do? Sort of virtual.
Yeah. Probably you'd change the Colchester United website, wouldn't you, for like something funny?
Yeah, hacking to the mainframe.
This whole thing's taken a turn, hasn't it? So yeah, that's the current situation.
Right.
Apart from that, it seems like the players are doing some exercise. You've been following them on the Instagram, on the Twitter?
Oh, I got to get on it. I haven't.
I tell you what,
I should start following. I'll tell you, I start following all my favourites on Instagram.
Okay, they're not all there
tonight.
Tonight, please do. Atton Garner's doing a lot of exercise. It doesn't surprise you.
Okay.
Here's my favourite thing. The City Community Trust organised a charity 5 kilometre. You know, do it on your own, but post your times, pay a bit of money towards the CCT. I was delighted. I'm not very quick, but I was delighted to come in some 10 minutes ahead of Jake Taylor. Goodness knows what he was doing. Joel Randell did
it in about 4 minutes.
He did it in 18 minutes. And Jake Taylor's comment on his Twitter was, did you do it on a motorbike? Which I loved. So yeah, it seems like they're all kind of getting on it. Sparks and Collins have been doing a lot of exercise. So of course we might see Jack Sparks back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, which I'm not sure about, which that counts for all football, but especially kind of League One and League Two football. It's like, what's up with the contracts? Because like we got a couple of weeks left before some of these players previously would have been out of contracts. I'm
told, I've read that the 1,400 players in Championship, League One and League Two are out of contract end of May. Which is obviously a disaster. So what they're trying to do with all the players, and I don't know how this works with City or anything, and obviously it doesn't matter with teams that aren't in the playoffs, but with us, they're looking for like month extensions, 6-week extensions.
Right.
I think the problem comes when these are really expensive players who are going to have maybe already been contracted with someone else, or they're going to be, and there's a massive deal in it for them, and they don't want to be injured a week before they move to their massive mega club. So, if Raheem Sterling was going to Real Madrid and it was already sorted, although not official, would they really want him playing in a knockabout, essentially?
Yeah.
But I think for us, probably if our players are out of contract, they'll either be grateful for the extra 6 weeks, or we're going to sign again. Or
they've all been furloughed anyway.
They have to be unfurloughed, don't they, for this?
I suppose, yeah. Okay, because they're back to work, aren't they? So they'll be. That makes sense.
Who knows? But I guess when the training starts, they'll be unfurloughed. City will pay their wages. Maybe there'll be some we let go in advance of that. I don't know.
Well, I'd started to think that, before this news came in, this week, I was starting to think, I mean, I don't know who, but I haven't looked at the contracts or whatever, but I was thinking, we probably won't see some of those players again. No. I was starting to think that'll be... Because before this happened, it was looking like there was no scenario which we would go up.
Yeah.
Short of actually playing the playoffs, and say that still doesn't happen. If there's any way of it stopping right now and that we don't go up, do we? Under any of the possible outcomes, it's always Cheltenham.
Yeah.
So I was starting to think some of those players, we would never see them again. Potentially maybe Randell Williams.
Yeah.
As an example of someone who maybe would leave to go to another club, or other ones who are out of contract and would just leave anyway.
Yeah.
So you start to think, that's weird. You sort of, maybe that's the last time we ever saw whoever, this guy or that guy or whatever,
Yeah. Absolutely. So I guess they'll be contracted back in. I mean, maybe they'll have the conversation, and maybe some of them have already had the conversations and know they won't be kept on for the playoffs or for next season. I guess the ones that they do want around, but who won't have a contract renewed for next season, they'll look at doing a short-term thing. I mean, I guess it's up to the players, isn't it? And so if I don't know, Randall Williams had an offer from a bigger club, he might think to himself, well, actually, it's not worth my while, because if I break my leg, I'm never getting this deal that is going to set me up for life. So maybe we won't see some of them anyway. I don't know. I think
that'd be a shame. I mean,
Williams is in contract.
Comment before it happens. Yeah. Remember, I mean, we don't contract comment on that before it happens. But I mean, that would be a shame, wouldn't it, if something like that happened? But ultimately, I think under these circumstances, you just have to say, all right, whatever. We got to get on with this game.
Yeah. We need 15 players, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be weird, isn't it? I mean, obviously, we've seen behind closed doors games plenty. We had the England games in recent times, haven't we? When who was that against? Croatia.
Crumbs. One of those teams.
I don't want to say the wrong country just because it was because of some racism, wasn't it? So I don't want to accuse someone of that.
Was it Slovenia? Was it Slovenia?
Maybe.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Apologies
so we've seen that. And also, I don't know if you watched any of the Bundesliga last week, but that's happened. That started. So
I watched the K-League as well, which is very strange.
Oh, and the K-League, and it's weird. It's weird, isn't it? It's not the same. Especially watching a game that you're like properly invested in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It'll be really different because normally those games feel different anyway. So watching a playoff semi-final, like live at the ground, feels very different to watching a league game, because of the kind of weight of the result, so it'll be even weirder, the amount of, like, with that lack of kind of anyone there kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, defo. It's going to be very, very strange. And the team that adapts best will have a very good chance, won't they?
Yeah, totally, yeah. I mean, I've got every... I mean, do I have every confidence? We haven't really seen... Matt Taylor's side, like what they're like in big pressure games yet, have we? Because obviously we haven't been in any playoff games with him. So, we haven't really got very far in any cups, so we don't really know.
Indeed, all things are possible, but that's where it is at the minute. Strange times.
Yeah, really strange. I mean, I think we were waiting to find out what was going on, weren't we? And we weren't particularly planning on doing anything about this until the news came up. I think we probably would have done another little, I don't know, something at some point about, harking back to old stuff. But I was like, we would still do it. Maybe we will, depending on how carry on doing that, depending on how long this goes on for. But like, I mean, are you starting to get a bit bored of it all? Like, I know
of the football, to and froing, you mean?
No, I just mean you can only do what you can, obviously, and I'm very grateful for, like, everyone's football team's doing what they can do, but of the kind of, let's talk about this old game, and then let's rewatch this old thing. Do you know what I mean? And it's better than nothing, but it does get a bit like, do you know what I mean? I haven't been watching the live ones. I watched the first few, but I haven't been watching them recently. Because just like, I don't know. I just think it's not.
No, I agree.
Just get fed up with it.
Yeah. I guess it's just been a very strange time, and we've had 10 weeks of strange, so it'll be certainly interesting to have something new to talk about, and maybe something new to watch. Hopefully something new to watch.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope so. And I mean, I guess it'll be on Flybe or whatever, won't it? And
Flybe.
Sorry. I was going to talk about Flybe, but I also meant it's going to be on iFollow, isn't it? So
yeah, I think it's going to be on Sky. Right? I think I'm told it's on Sky as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the playoffs would have been anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then there's some pressure, of course, certainly with the Premier League, to make it free to watch. So I don't know what the deal would be, but maybe the final.
Is that a good idea?
What's that?
Well, I'm just thinking about, how can we get the most money?
Yeah, I think iFollow, but I don't know. I don't think iFollow own the rights to the playoffs. So
no. But from a Sky point of view, would it be better to have?
I think the government would make up the difference. That's what I'm told. So if the government, you heard of them, if they make the Premier League show all their stuff, there would be cash in it for Sky.
Right.
So I don't know what they would do about League Two, because of course, in a way, it's a privilege to watch. Privilege, stupid word. It's you have to pay into it. It's not just. It's never natural to watch it. You always have to pay extra. It's not part of your season ticket, etc., etc. So
yeah.
Maybe they'll definitely do the old pay £10 to watch it, won't they? Anyway, so what's that thing called? Now TV.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't got a subscription, you have to pay, right? Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, sales of widescreen TVs in Exeter will go through the roof. Richer Sounds won't know what's hit them.
They won't have enough.
They won't have enough.
I've got a spare one, actually, if it does happen and anyone needs one.
Spare widescreen?
I'm always looking to make a quick buck. The colours aren't the best on it, but it'll get you...
Would you know,
the
difference
red and white stripes.
You'd see the red and white, that's fine. That's all that matters. Good. What else do we need to talk about?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're the one who... I mean, is there any other news for Exeter City? What?
No, just that Jake Taylor needs to get some practice in on his runs. And I'm not stalking him, but Bowman always puts his... Bowman's someone I've never seen around town. I see most of them around town. Lewis Ward's my favourite. You ever seen Bowman around town?
I always text you, don't I, if I see one of them.
You do.
See one of them.
But I've never seen Bowman.
Sometimes I get 2 or 3 in a day.
Yeah. Don't know what that's
I suppose it's when they've all got the afternoon off.
I guess so.
They're all going to town.
But Bowman, never seen him. Anyway, on Instagram, he always posts up his locations. I'm always like 5 minutes behind him, not on purpose. I'm not stalking you, Ryan. But he'll be like, oh, I was here. And I was like, I was there 5 minutes ago. I didn't see you. Oh, he's here.
Oh, how weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like where?
Oh, well, like last week he was on the quay in Exeter. Today he's at Budley Salton Beach. I wasn't there today, but I was there a couple of days ago. Where are you, Ryan? You following me? What's he doing? So yeah, I'm keeping my eye on him.
Yeah, well that's good.
Listeners, remember you can get in touch with us as always in all the normal ways. We're on Facebook, the Big Bank Theory Podcast, on Twitter at Big Bank Pod, and you can email us bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're delighted to hear from you. You can always leave us a review as well. And don't worry, this is whatever happens this season, we'll be back next season. Whatever happens next season, we'll be back chatting, observing, watching.
I mean, that's one of the silver linings, isn't it, of all this? No matter what happens, relegation, promotion, we'll still keep doing this for a bit unless something changes within our lives.
We're there for you
which
until
is
something changes. What? Like, looking at my laptop, that could break. That would do it.
Yeah. Right, now, do you want an update on the birds on my roof situation?
I think we all do. That's why we've all tuned in. What's going on with them?
Okay. Well, I think maybe from certain species I'm past the peak.
Things have you flattened the curve.
I think just naturally there's a kind of season for them making nests, and I think their like sort of main priority for being on my roof is to peck off the ingredients to make their nests with.
Surely,
but I think probably
you're not
they've all made
ingredients. If you're building something, they're not ingredients.
Components for the nest. I think probably they've all made their nest now, so there's less pecking going on. However, there is now what happens is sometimes some seagulls get on there. Now it's a seagull because they're much louder, and it literally sounds like someone's like bashing about on the roof, And I'm working from home a couple of days a week, so you can literally I got banging in the background, while I'm trying to work on a Zoom call or whatever. So I've got to do something about it. So I was saying about how I sort of bang on the ceiling with this broom hand, which I'm actually showing you now.
Yeah, listeners, Dan's showing me his broom.
He's got the video for this one. There it is.
Seen better days, Dan. You need a new broom, I think.
Well, it's bent a bit because I've had to do this. So they don't care about the banging on the ceiling. They just carry on because they're just like bad, they're bad, aren't they, seagulls?
Yeah,
bad in a good way for them and in a bad way for me.
Yes.
But so I've got these tiny little windows which you can just about get my arm out. And what I have to do is poke the whole broom and my arm out this little tiny gap of window.
Yeah.
And swing it up onto the roof, through the window, the broomstick, as if, and ideally maybe I might even hit one day, but at very least it makes them all fly off.
Wow. That's amazing.
So that's
remarkable. Don't forget the time you and I were sat outside having a cup of tea and I had to hit a seagull clean in the face.
Yeah, you punched. I actually wasn't there, but you punched one in the.
I punched one
in the face.
I
right?
did, yeah. It was back to eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Sent him away. I mean, I'm not for animal cruelty, very much not, but he had it coming to him.
Absolutely, and also I don't think you really. That was just pure instinct. Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Animal instinct on your behalf.
It was.
You
got to fight fire with fire, Dan.
Yeah, I mean that's probably built into us to protect our food, isn't it? From the kind of evolutionarily,
Yeah, that's right. Darwin.
But yeah,
so you've been. That's very interesting.
The problem is with this is like, I mean, so far it's been fine as far as I know, but my windows do back out onto a lot of other houses, like the back of a lot of other houses. So, I mean, if anyone, I mean, who knows? I mean, it doesn't matter to me really, but there's a good chance that people have just seen sort of this arm reaching out a window and swinging a big stick onto the roof.
Wow. If you live in the St James area of Exeter and you've witnessed this, chances are it's our friend Dan. It might not be. There might be loads of you at it.
Yeah, maybe. Or if, you hear some loud squawking, maybe you look out the window, cast your eyes up to the skyline and see if you can see an arm waving a broomstick.
Are you doing the squawking or is that the seagull? It wasn't clear.
That's the seagull. Okay. That's the seagull doing that. I mean, I'll try that. I mean, and it works at the moment. Let's see if I need if I need to vocalize my attack in future, then so be it.
My father-in-law doesn't take kindly to squirrels eating the bird food he puts out for his birds, so he's got a Super Soaker 500.
Oh, brilliant.
It's got quite the aim. So maybe that's
hate that.
I bet they hate that.
I'd love to get I'd love to be able to shoot the birds with a Super Soaker, but I can't get an eye on them.
So you're waving blindly?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only reason I know it's seagulls because I can see them all fly off.
Okay. Well, listeners, if you've got hints and tips, or maybe you've seen Dan at his work, or maybe you offer a service that would, I don't know, clean the moss off your roof, or just take down a few seagulls, you can get in touch with us in the normal way. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
I mean, I tell you what, it's another reason to be glad not to live in Plymouth, isn't it, or Torquay? They must have seagulls up to their eyeballs.
I mean, I'm finding it hard to not see this as some sort of, Torquay. Is there a Torquay podcast out there which perhaps have somehow encouraged these seagulls onto my roof?
That would be the kind of dastardly thing they do, isn't it?
It is. A friend of mine did actually get in touch with me after hearing my complaints about them last week with an idea that I put this sort of fake plastic owl on my roof, which I do actually have a fake plastic owl, weirdly.
The less successful Radiohead song. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to think of there's not really any way of getting him up there.
Helicopter? I suppose that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, I mean, I could also get out onto the roof. I just think that's a bit dangerous.
The Rod Hull, of course, famously perished trying to adjust the satellite dish when Manchester United were on the telly.
And let's just say this: if I died that'd be even more a ridiculous death. Me trying to put a fake plastic owl on my roof than Rod Hull's TV aerial adjustment.
It would. Yeah, you're right. All right, you better stay inside for now. We'll see if we can get some hints and tips off the listeners.
Yeah.
All right.
Poison. I could probably hook some poison up there.
Seems a bit harsh.
Let me know if that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does a bit.
Well,
okay. Anything else?
No, I think we've covered all the topics. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're all right out there. Hopefully we'll see you in the playoff semi-finals really soon. We'll keep you up to date with all the details in the meantime. This has been the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.